Everyone, Christian here, and I wanted to post this coconut in particular because of where it is and how fast it has grown and what it has gone through. So I'm at a friend's house here in Northport, which is about 15 miles east of where I live on the right by the water in Venice. And I want to say in early 2015, maybe late 2014, I just dropped off a sprouted coconut to them and just literally left it at their front door and told them to plant it in their front yard. And I hadn't been here in a number of years, and they had sent me some photos, but so this coconut is at the most 9 years old from seed, and it is now you can see the some of the older fronds are still a little bit damaged from Hurricane Ian. That they came out like just about a year ago, so this is like a full year of growth. But if you get up close, like you can see the sign of a really well-growing coconut, just how wide the rings are. Not only how wide the trunk is, but like how much difference there is in length between where the bases have fallen off. And you can see that it is putting out coconuts there. It's some kind of Maypan, yellow Maypan hybrid, I'm guessing. I literally just found this coconut on the side of the road and just gave it to them. It had a little sprout coming out of it, and they just planted it right in the ground just as a sprout. Didn't put it in a pot or anything, and it just took right off. Now I believe that the septic is nearby, so that probably helps. You can see how green the grass is, and they did fertilize it. But this nice fat base, it's got a little bit of a curve to it like all coconuts do. It's really rare to find a coconut with that just growing straight up. They naturally like to curve a little bit. So, but the fronds, you can see this one of the newest ones here. I mean, that's in perfect shape. These ones from 9 months ago or so came out after this thing went through Hurricane Ian. It definitely saw 120 mile an hour wind gusts here and sustained winds of over 100 miles an hour, and it just hasn't really had any issues other than that. It's just amazing to see. This is also in a very this is not near because Northport has an area near the water, and this is probably 5-6 miles away from that, so it's up closer towards the interstate. So this is a colder area of Northport, and you just don't see many coconuts at all, much less a coconut looking this nice. So I think this is a good example of when you grow a palm very like in a healthy manner instead of just leaving it and letting it settle on its own. When you feed it well and it is very strong, that it will handle some cold, because this definitely went through a freeze in 2017. I think it hit 28, 29 here, and it recovered from that. I'm sure it's seen some sub 32 degree Fahrenheit temperatures sometime a couple years ago, because it was 33, 34 in Venice. So it's at least 5 degrees colder here. So thinking of that and seeing how well this is doing, just really, it's amazing. Every time I come here, it just surprises me, because the longer everything goes, the longer time passes, the more that these older fronds that look kind of crappy are going to start to fall off, and it'll have a full kind of perfect head going on. So this is well fertilized, and you can sort of tell that. I think part of it is the septic system, which there's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't plant like right on top of your septic system, because that will cause damage, and it is very expensive to repair. So even though the septic system can feed your plants, you need to be careful about how you plant it, because you can cause thousands of dollars in damage. You can crack your septic tank, and you don't want to do that. But yeah, it has produced coconuts in the past, and I never tried to germinate any of them, but it would probably be a good idea, considering this is, sustained some cold temperatures. Like I said, I'm guessing it's a yellow Maypan. It could be a tall. I guess it kind of has some tall characteristics. It definitely has, the very long, broad fronds. It has that. It has the stature. It's definitely not a dwarf, or even a hybrid dwarf, because just those thick, or I should say those tall rings on it, and just the rate of growth, like how tall it has been growing. Dwarfs would have, especially in full sun, would have a lot less petiole and just almost all rachis, and the crown, it would be much harder to kind of see the center. But you can see right there just how many, it has 5 inflorescences growing, and you know, even the fibers are a good color. Sometimes when you see something going on in the crown, these fibers will start to turn a darker color, sort of like the color of that petiole that's dying, but it all looks great. And I'm just happy that, you know, you see a spread of coconut, a lot of times it ends up dying one way or another, but this one's looking great. So thought everyone should know that this is, you know, this is a solid 9B climate here in northern Northport, and you know, this thing's doing great. So if you live in 9B, always give it a try. Like, this is going to be the same climate as you know, Orlando or Tampa, and you never know, you could end up with a coconut just like this. So I'll leave it there. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and like seeing tropical plant reviews, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification. That way you can see when I upload new videos, and hope you enjoyed watching. Have a good one.